This is a very special day. Very special day. It's a finally fantastic, maybe just a little freaky Friday. That means my partner in crime, my co-host this morning, is Laura Lee.
Good morning, Miss Becky.
And Laura, you know what? We can say Football Friday.
It's Football
I
Friday.
know. I wondered on that. Yeah, how exciting. What a beautiful night for football. Oh, I love that. It's going to be like warm, and then the sun's going to go down. It's going to be a little cooler, blanket time, and we're sitting there in the stands, and love listening to on the radio. Yeah, there's no stand. Yeah, sitting. And if you are going to the game, which we encourage you to, the games, make sure you bring your headphones so you can listen to the guys. They're super excited.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a fun night.
I'm excited to
Yeah,
listen to them.
absolutely. As our guest this morning, we do have in the hot seat, and we want to thank him for coming in from Duke Energy. We have Bruce Calloway, and Bruce is on the move, man. Good to have you with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Becky. Thanks for having me in. Always appreciate spending time with you. Appreciate everything you do for the community. So thanks again for having me in.
And we're going to be talking energy, and that's something right now, hopefully this cup of coffee is giving me energy. Anyone, Laura, what your cup of Joe over there, and everybody having breakfast, get our good energy and get going and start the morning off right for sure. Let's thank our sponsors.
All righty. We have Walmart, Meadowview, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Kentucky Anacat and Court, and Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn.
Oh, wonderful sponsors. Thank you to them. Bruce, we were talking about football, and I know you're a sports guy. So did you play some sports in school, or did you have an opportunity to do that?
Yeah, certainly went to a small school, very small school, many years ago. But yeah, I played basketball as any Indiana kid would. Ran track, cross country, played baseball. Then went on to college, played basketball and ran track. And I'm thoroughly done with running at this point in my life. And I can no longer compete with the younger kids in basketball. So I'm strictly a fan at this point in my life.
I love that.
Love watching my granddaughters play softball. My daughter was a softball player in high school. My son played basketball. And my daughter's coaching now. So I get to go and just be grandpa and watch and just love it. Absolutely love it. It's amazing to see, that progression of, I coached my daughter when she was younger and now to see her, that come full circle, it's a tremendous joy.
You must have planted some good seeds. I mean, for that and for her to want to, I love when they give back like that,
Amen.
Because we know coaches are really, I mean, how much can we go back? Yeah, no matter what age you are, and you remember those words or those sayings that your coach said to you. We talk about that all the time. Yeah.
Well, sure. And we were just having this discussion about coaches and the impact they can make on their life. But, sports in general, team sports especially, those types of lessons stay with you the rest of your life,
Right.
And even in business now, learning how to get along with folks, learning how to work together as a team. But one of the things we always talked about, we played a lot of travel softball, but, have fun, be a good sport, and do your best, and if you're doing that, not just in sports, but in life, you're going to enjoy your life a lot more. And hopefully the kids took a little bit away from that.
I agree. Yeah, I think that's good. Well said, and have a nice balance. Yeah,
Sure.
And it teaches responsibility. It teaches, where did I leave this, or where's my jersey? Where's my
responsibility and accountability? Right?
Oh, there you go.
Because that's a big thing right now.
That is true.
Holding folks accountable, and hopefully about showing up on time and working hard and doing all the things to contribute to the team, and then you take that on into life and contribute to a company or your own business and to your community.
Absolutely.
So hopefully our kids are picking up on that.
I think so. Awesome. Very good. All right, we're on to the 25th August. Wow. Today is International Day of Medical Transporters, and we actually had our ambulance service on, and so hats off to them and all what they do, and
Fantastic.
Yep. All our first responders.
Yes.
And thank goodness, we take that opportunity throughout the year. We have a National Lineman's Day, Lineman Appreciation Day. We, medical transporters, everybody that's on the front line, which includes my daughter who works in the healthcare industry. And, it's just, over the last 18 months, we've never seen it more than during that time. But, hopefully we'll all take a greater appreciation for all that and step back, be a little bit more patient and tolerant, and show our appreciation to everybody.
I agree. Amen. Well said. Very good. Today's also National Bacon Lovers Day. Bruce, you love bacon?
Absolutely. Who doesn't, right?
I would question, and Laura, bring on the bacon. Yeah.
Saw a wonderful picture the other day, which showed somebody that's trying to eat better, and it showed a salad, and it was a bunch of bacon bits with just a little bit of lettuce on it. So, I really like that. You throw some bacon ranch dressing on there, you got yourself something.
I love that. Yeah, we fixed, because right now the big garden tomatoes, which I'm not a tomato snob, but I really love the fresh garden. What we're getting right now is so much better than in the winter when you get those other tomatoes. The shipped in ones. I'm sorry. Yeah, these homegrown ones that we have right now are just fantastic. So we made big BLTs the other day, and heavy on the bacon, and it was.
You can't beat that. I don't know if you've seen this, but some of the restaurants are also starting to put avocado on that.
Oh.
Very good. It makes you feel a little bit better about yourself too, right?
A little healthy. That's exactly right. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, bacon lovers, and of course they have bacon cupcakes. That are yeah. Walmart has them over here, and it's good. I know it sounds a little bit, but you take the bacon and then you're sweet, so you're kind of the sweet and the salty kind of together. It's really good. And then at the state fair, they call them pigs in the mud. They take the bacon strips and they dip them in chocolate, and it's called pigs in the mud.
Nice. Hey, is there bacon ice cream to go with that?
Oh, I'm sure. I did not see any, but I'm never say never, right?
Yeah.
Up at the state fair, and the combination, we were just there it is a smorgasbord, and I ate like that. I did. It was just, thank goodness we walked a lot, because I'm telling you. But they had this, Bruce, I talked about it earlier in the week, but they had a corn dog. They take a pickle and they hollow it out and they put a hot dog in it, and they dip it in corn. So you have a corn dog, it's a corn dog, but it's got a pickle in it. It's like, I will probably in January, February start craving those things, and I'm never going to be able to make it. You know what I mean? Just like they did.
But it's amazing what they come up with now, right?
The Oreos.
Who would have thought?
Oh yeah, who would have thought? Who thinks of these things?
But thank goodness they do, right?
I know. And always try it. Never not be right. My daughter, which I was surprised, she has got. She's very more daring than I am. She had the buffalo. And they had buffalo meat up there, and on the actual what am I trying to say, tray, or not tray, but the cart or whatever, the building, the booth had a buffalo, and I said, he's looking at me, I can't eat him. I can't do it, but anyway. But
I've had bison, and it's very lean, very good.
Oh yeah,
very very good.
Supposed to be very So she got that, and she said it was delicious. So I just let her. I'll come over here to the corn dog.
And the pickle.
And the pickle. That's exactly right. This is also, National Chocolate Pecan Pie Day. Have mercy.
Hey, you throw some bacon on that, you really have something.
Why not? Why not? I can do it. I can do that. National Lemonade Day. You like lemonade?
Oh, absolutely. Are you all familiar with Lemonade Day, which is a kind of a program? I think it started down in Houston, Texas, but I know they have it in some of the communities in the state here. But it's a program. One of the communities I work with, it's actually facilitated by the Boys and Girls Club. The kids, make their own lemonade stand, make their own recipes. There's a big competition, but the thought is, learning how to run a business. But part of it is you save some money, you spend some money, and you donate some money. So a third of all that. So it's younger kids, and it's become pretty big in some communities. We've supported it, but it's just a great program to show kids how to run a business. Again, back to some responsibility and accountability, and just a great program.
Right. Well, we did one on the square. We did a lemonade stand, and of course, the girls were supposed to run it, but I was back there squeezing lemons, buying the lemons. We went under. We didn't make any money. We lost money.
You had good lemonade, right?
We had great lemonade. I'm sure there are people right now sitting at home thinking, I wish I had one of those cups of lemonade.
But and one of the things at the state fair, as you mentioned it, the lemon shake-ups.
I
mean, they're at every fair.
Those
County fairs, they're awesome.
Yeah, aren't
they
though?
awesome.
Yeah. Are you an elephant ear guy?
I love them. I try to stay away from them. I'll take any sweet, Becky.
Yeah,
it's
and Laura,
sweets and bacon, right?
Yeah, there we go. Can't go wrong. This is also National Men's Grooming Day. Yay. National Radio Day. Hats off to radio, right? Going strong.
Awesome. What a great day to be here.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that for sure. Virtual Worlds Day, when you live in a virtual world. This is also National Mosquito Day. Ooh, I don't like those.
Yeah.
I'll do a hard pass on that. Yeah. So we've had quite a few of them in our area, and I'm sure Bruce, you too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, so get out and enjoy. All right, real quick, the Reds defeated the Marlins last night 6-1. Yay, as Marty Brenneman used to say, this one belongs to the Reds. They play again tonight at 7:10. Don't know that we'll probably have to do a pass on that, because we have football going on tonight. We have the West Washington Senators and Eastern Musketeers. We'll be battling it out. That's going to be fun.
That's going to be a good game.
Good game. And Laura's a little one will be there playing. So for Salem and North Harrison. Sorry, switched over here.
Yes,
got North Harrison and Salem will be playing tonight. So is he excited?
He is excited. They're at North Harrison.
Yeah.
First time wearing his game jersey on Friday.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Did he
That's
wake up in a good mood?
Yes, he was ready to go.
Yeah, I love
Ready
that.
to go.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. And so we'll have that on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and of course the radio. So all kinds of coverage tonight for Friday Night Football. Exciting time. So tune in for that. All right, let's jump in. Bruce Calloway from Duke Energy. So glad to get you in here this morning. We've heard a little bit about you. We know that you were a former coach. We've learned family values. Love that, and all the great things going on. So how did you get involved in Duke Energy? And tell us a little bit about the company.
Well, I actually started with the company, which would have been the old Public Service Indiana, back in 1979, and I was a lineman for like 22 years.
Oh, wow.
So I worked on the high voltage lines, and I started up in Lafayette area. And in 1983, my wife and I moved to Florida for 9 years. I did line work down there, and then was fortunate enough to come back to the company in 92, right back into Lafayette as a lineman, working with much of the same people I worked with before. And early 40s, went back to college, got my degree. Moved into safety and then moved into supervision. So I spent 33 years of that 42 years in operations. And then back in 2012 was really fortunate to come into this role as Government and Community Relations Manager for Duke Energy in South Central Indiana, which is 6 counties, including Washington County, and get to serve on boards, get to interact with the business community, interact with customers, sometimes when they're having escalated issues, sometimes when they need some help working through other issues, get to work with schools. One of the big joys is working with our foundation and supporting different organizations, different nonprofits, schools, cities, municipalities, in supporting different kinds of initiatives and grant applications. So it's a real joy. I can tell you. Some of my friends say you hit the perfect spot there because you like to talk a lot. So I guess.
Well,
how long do we have? We got an hour, right?
I'll order pizza. Okay, Bruce.
Pizza with bacon.
Yeah, pizza with bacon. Yeah, Papa John's can set us right up there. But yeah, no, it's a gift where I come from, to be able to talk. So we look at it as a positive.
Yeah, as long as you say something meaningful, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah, I try to do value. Absolutely. Well, there's so much, but let's go back on the linemen, because I've always wanted to talk with a lineman, because when you see them up there, how scary is that? Is it scary? You must be a thrill seeker. You have to be, right?
Well, I have to say. Go,
I don't know.
well, it's a great career. Duke Energy is a great company to work for, and I was fortunate to get into that line of work. A lot of people think line work's dangerous. I like to refer to it as hazardous. And there's a big difference, right?
No, explain. I mean, well, but yeah, explain.
So hazardous means that there's a hazards associated with the job, but we have rules, we have safety rules, we have policies, we have procedures, we have PPE, personal protective equipment, and what you do, you go through an apprenticeship, and you progress, and you learn all those things. So I can remember, I tell this story often. I can remember, first month or so on the job, we were out working on a job, and there was a lot of cover up there, which is PPE. And I'm thinking, my goodness, how does someone live long enough to retire from doing this type of work? And I've learned over the years, it's because you pay attention, you learn the safety rules. You're fortunate to work with people that have done this for a long time. It kind of goes back to that coaching. The more experienced folks coach the younger folks, mentor them. You serve through that apprenticeship, and you learn. And it's been a great career for me, and I appreciate that. In our group, we have all kinds of, there's 9 of us in the state of Indiana serving the 69 counties, and we all have varied backgrounds, and mine is strong in operations. So we kind of feed off one another. We know who to go internally for those types of questions. But, line work, I have a tremendous appreciation for our fellows and gals. We have female line workers. And so I have a tremendous appreciation for that. They're getting up at 2:00 in the morning and 60 degrees below, and going out and responding 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I can say that I've missed holidays, Christmases. I've missed Mother's Day once, yes. And I can remember we were working at a hurricane out in the Carolinas one year, and all the folks that were from my area that were with me, we called my daughter and sang happy birthday to her on her birthday. So you miss a lot of stuff, but it's important. We serve our customers. We need to be there. We help other jurisdictions. We have other utilities help us. We help other utilities. We've gone to many hurricanes, and it's what we do. It's what linemen do. It's they want to restore the service. We've never failed to get the power back on. It may not always be as quickly as some folks would like, but our goal is always to do that safely. And if we can do that and not have any incidents, then we consider that a success.
Absolutely. So, yeah, and that's where I wanted to go with that, because I just got to give huge respect. And, it can be absolutely just frigid outside, and, and maybe the ice or the snow has caused something. And when you see one of those persons, or, that he or she up there, I mean, I pray for them. I just, I don't know what they do. To me, it's just completely brave, and what they're doing. They're doing it for us, getting us back where we need to be on the heat, or what, or electricity or whatever. And I can't say enough thank you. You know what I'm saying? From, and when you see one of them, I just think they're heroes in that, because of that, what they're doing, and when they're up there like that. I mean, to me, that just, and I'm somewhat a thrill seeker, but I'm thinking that would be challenging for me to even be, in that. But like when there is something that's happened, let's say ice, snow, lightning, or something that's hit, how do you find where the location's at that it's happened?
Well, that's a great question. But first,
I'm sorry, going on for all that, but I give them huge respect. No, I can't say enough.
Well, thank you for those kind words. I know
it's so true.
We all take a lot of pride,
and you should, and they should. I hope one of them is listening, and I hope they tell it to every one of them, because we as customers have to remember what they're doing and the sacrifices that they're making. And no, it might not be as fast as we want it, but look, I mean, they're doing it. And, we have candles. I mean, we have, blankets that we can put on. I mean, do what we can do until they get it fixed. But yeah.
Well, thank you for that. And, how do we know?
Yeah.
We've got a pretty sophisticated system, outage management system. First of all, if you're out of power, we want you to report it.
Right.
There's a mobile app you can do it. You can text. or you can call our outage number. And we have smart meters everywhere in the state of Indiana. They're great, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But the one thing we don't know is that smart meter can't tell us when you're actually out of power. So we can ping that meter to see if you do have power once we start restoring power. But depending on what the cause or what's out, if it's a substation that's out, we're going to know that pretty quick.
Okay.
If it's a transformer fuse out that might serve 2 or 3 folks, then we're going to need people to call in, and within that outage management system, we can narrow it down to where the trouble's actually at based on the calls we're getting. So we'll know if it's a transformer fuse, we'll know if it's a single customer, we'll know if it's a transformer fuse, a line fuse, a breaker, a reclosure, and for folks that aren't familiar with an electrical system, how I like to explain it is, we have our generating stations, and then how's that power get out everywhere? So think about it like the road system, the transportation system. The interstate's like the transmission system. It gets the power over long distances efficiently and, as possible. And then you have the state highways, which kind of takes that out into the smaller, the city areas. And then the street roads takes it into neighborhoods, and then think of alleys, it's getting it actually down to the single customer. So when we're restoring power, we're going to get that transmission system up first. We're going to get the interstate open, so to speak, and then we're going to work on the larger outages. But our triage, so to speak, for outages is we're going to get critical care facilities back on. We're going to get to hospitals. We're going to get emergency management. A lot of hospitals, most all hospitals, emergency management has some backup generation, but what they can't do is typically run the entire facility. So we need to get those. We need to get the nursing homes back on. We want to get the schools back on. We want to get that back on, and then we're going to work on the largest customers. How do we get the most customers back on in the shortest amount of time? And then we work our way down. So some folks, may be what we call a onesie, just a single no light, and they're going to be towards the end of that restoration process. But I think people can understand and appreciate how we go about this. And one of the advantages that those smart meters do give, as we get down to the onesies of a storm, prior to smart meters being in, we had to roll a truck out, and it might. Our districts, we have over 800,000 customers, 69 counties in the state of Indiana. And we all know that some of our counties are, we could travel quite a ways to reach those customers. So what we're able to do now is we're able to ping that meter. We can actually tell if there's power on at that meter. If it's not, we're going to roll a truck. If there is power, then we can actually reach out to that customer and say, have you checked your breakers? Those types of things. So it's a big advantage, especially when you think at the end of a storm, our folks might have been working 24 hours straight, or they might have been a 2 or 3 day storm. So we're wanting to get them, home, get them rested, and get them back in on a normal work basis. So, and it also keeps our trucks off the road. That's a safety issue as well. But you were talking about our folks out working. When I look at South Central Indiana, what a beautiful area of the state. Part of that beauty is, we've got hills, and we've got a lot of trees. We've got all kinds of things, and that's another challenge because a lot of our facilities are in the right of way. It's not like we can drive a truck to it, so that can also create more time for outage restoration if we're in the backyards and we have to get trees cut off the lines. And while we're talking about that, outages, we want to remind folks to, be safe, stay away from down lines. You don't know if that's de-energized and grounded and safe until we show up and we can tell you that. So be careful about tree lines in the trees, your kids climbing in that. So just, call us. We work 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. We'll send someone, depending on how much we have going on. It may not always be as quick as everyone likes, but entrapment where there's been an accident and a line down on a vehicle is, our number one priority. We're going to get there. We're going to put that as the number one priority in restoration. So give us a call. We want to make it safe. We want to get your power back on. That's what we want. And we have a good reliability rate. There's no 100% guarantee, but we do a lot of work to maintain our line, provide reliable, efficient, and low-cost services as possible. So just give us a call. We'll come out. A couple other. I know I ramble on. See, I told you.
No,
I told you.
You're a wonderful guest.
Job, right?
Look, I'm here drinking my coffee. I'm enjoying.
But in a storm, it's good to have a storm prep kit for folks. I'm not going to go into all this, and I'm going to tell you, folks, all this is out on our website, www.duke-energy.com. It has all our jurisdictions. We're in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida, and we actually have gas in Tennessee. But all this can be found out there under the outage part of the website. But get yourself a storm prep kit. And there's recommendations out there. Go ahead.
My top question: how do you keep teenagers out of the batteries?
How do you keep them out of the batteries? Well, when you figure that out, you can let us know. But
never fails. Every time you go to get new batteries out of it for the flashlight, when there's no electric, there is no batteries left.
Oh,
so that's a great comment right there. Is that you probably need to be checking that, right? There's a lot of battery pack chargers that you can get nowadays, and we keep one on a charger all the time for cell phones and stuff like that. So. Yeah, that's a tough one. A flashlight, first aid kit. If you're on a well, draw some water. If a storm's coming, there's things to do before, during, and after a storm. Another thing we like to remind folks of is generators. Make sure your generator is properly wired, with the transfer switch. A lot of folks plug generators directly into an outlet. And what that does is create backfeed on our line, and a transformer, which steps down higher voltage to 120, 240, or whatever your service is into your home or your business. It doesn't care where it's getting the source. So you backfeed that with that, it's going to take it back out on high voltage onto the line. So think about all those things. Be safe. Just be safe. I encourage folks to sign up for our proactive outage communication, where you can get a text. If you're out of power, it'll give you an update when you expect time of restoration. It'll give you a call, and then once power has been restored, we're going to send you another text and ask for a response. Is your power on? Is your power not on? And that'll help us too. We can nail some of that down. Another beauty of that is you can do that over multiple accounts. Let's say you're on vacation in Florida, and we have a storm come through, and your service goes out of power. You're going to get a text. Now, you may not have somebody watching your house, but that text is going to allow you to call somebody up and say, hey, could you go by and check? Otherwise that could be out for a week or however long you're gone if you don't have someone checking your home. So there's a lot of advantages to that. I encourage you to do it. We try to stay on top of that as much as we can, but it's a great benefit to customers who sign up for that.
Absolutely wonderful. Okay, so going back a few years, I just have to ask this question. Before the smart meters and before cell phones and everything, when you were up there, did you look around to see the lights come on the houses at night? I mean, is that how you gauge? Oh, electricity's back on. Because if you watch them, it's kind of fun to watch. If you're for some reason, if you're somehow you see that light go on, that light go on, light go on. I mean, is that how you used to gauge them, or how did you?
That was always a good thing when the lights came back on when you thought they were supposed to come back on.
Winning.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy if everything's dark. You can see that. But a lot of times, going back to the analogy of the transportation system, we might have felt we were picking up a city road when there's still an alley off, right? There's still a customer that's off. So back in the day, we were very dependent, as we are now, of customers calling in. And when you get to that point, and this is a good lead into another conversation of a question we always get. But when you get to that point, you see your neighbor's power came back on and yours didn't. You pick up the phone again, because that's the question we get: is why are my lights out? Yeah, exactly. So that kind of goes back to talking about our protection scheme. We have breakers. We have line fuses. We have reclosers, and I don't need to go into electricity 101 with all that, but your neighbor across the street could be on a different fuse for the line feeding behind their house than what you are. So if tree comes down through your line, your fuse is going to blow, which is the way it's designed. It's to protect the system, but your neighbor's isn't. So it's think of it this way. It's kind of like in your house. You've got a main breaker, and then you've got a bunch of other breakers in your house, and each one of those has so much load on it, which is we've used for load and fault. It has so much load on it. Whereas, so if something happens in your bedroom, and that breaker pops, the hallway right next to it still has lights, because there's nothing wrong on that. So that's why sometimes you're out, your neighbor's on, or vice versa, right? Never seems to be vice versa. But then pick up the phone and call us, or you can text us. You don't even have to use a phone anymore.
So, and I don't want to spend a lot of detail on this, but I just have to be curious, because I do love, I love to know things. So when they go up there and they're assessing what's wrong, is it like, do they have like all the stuff on their truck? These are questions, like, I feel like a surgeon. Do you have all the equipment in your bag? I mean, or is it usually a pretty quick fix? Do they have to do, or is there a lot of detail like that they have to do up there when the linemen go up?
Well, I guess the answer to that is one that many people give, and that depends.
Okay.
Yeah. Our line personnel have everything they need to diagnose the problems. Typically, diagnose the problems, and there's
that would be huge difficult. I mean, you come up on a situation. I know, like with my stuff here,
mm-hmm.
You have to. I mean, it takes a while to figure out what exactly is not. And it can be something just very simple, but you're overthinking it, or is that
sure? And it depends on the problem, Becky. I mean, if you're out of power, that's a little bit easier to see or determine. If you're having maybe flickering lights, that's a little tougher diagnostic process. But they have the things they need on the truck. Now, depending on what the problem actually is, we may not have the materials on the truck to fix it. If it's a transformer, we're not carrying a transformer. We're going to have to call somebody in to help us fix that. But we have all the fuses we need. We have the voltmeters, and we have equipment we can put on meter basis to check and see if connections are good. If we have a bad neutral connection or something like that. So it's
fascinating to me. I
can remember when I was an apprentice, and you first coming into all this, and you have a line truck, and there is so much material and equipment on a line truck. It's like a traveling warehouse, right? And you might have to dig for it, but you had it on there, right? So we try to keep our equipment stocked and be ready to diagnose anything. And some are more challenging than others. And if it's some underground equipment, we may have to go into the op center and pick up some more diagnostic equipment, but we'll get to it.
Yeah. Well, I can go back and I'm just gonna have to say this real quick, because this keeps going through my mind. But remember, on Monsters Inc., I'm a huge Disney fan, and you've got grandkids, and of course they use Scream to make the energy for electricity.
Yeah.
And then they realize that laughter is if you watch 2 and 3. Maybe I need to get out of the Disney World, right? But anyway, then instead of screaming, they realize laughter makes the energy. And I'm just wondering, do your grandkids, do they go crazy over knowing that you're making energy, and at what level, whether it's laughing or screaming?
Well, that's interesting, because I'm very familiar with Monsters with 4 grandkids. That plays in the vehicle a lot.
You are the man making electricity.
Yeah,
you're behind the curtain there.
I love my grandkids so much, but I will say this: they go crazy over a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if they go crazy knowing what Grandpa does or what, but they do know that I work for the power company, and that leads me into something that just brought me so much joy. I talked about being able to do grants and working with schools. We've done a program, and we've done it here in Salem before, called Real Men Read, and it's an opportunity for male role models within the community to come in and read to kindergarten classes 5 different months in a row, and each one of those kids gets a book to take home with them. And some kids, it's the first book they have. And it's an opportunity, and we call these people mentors, and we capitalize MEN. So, a male role model coming in. It might be a policeman. It might be the mayor. It could be anybody. And it's trying to get somebody from outside the school, because they get that all the time. And I got to do my granddaughter's class. And I'm telling you, it was so awesome. And she really loved it. It's just, can I sit on your lap, Pop? And I got to give credit to her teacher. She was golden, in managing through that. And another thing I want to say, I want to give credit to all the educators, all the teachers. We went through a challenging year last year, and we're still in challenges. But what our educators did during that time, how they swapped over, depending on the school corporation you were in, it was in a heartbeat to manage through online learning. And our school superintendents, all our administrators, all the folks associated with the school corporation, our hats off to you for what you did. I would hope that everyone has a greater appreciation for what they go through, the decisions they have to make when they have to look at the big picture, and take it from someone who's my wife. And I was telling you this earlier about my daughter was working and a full-time student, and my wife did much of the online learning for my oldest granddaughters last year, and I saw how much of a challenge it was. From sometimes technology not necessarily working to just the difficulty for a child not having that person-to-person interaction with not just our teacher, but the other kids, the social aspect of school, our administrators, our principals not, getting out and talking with them. And I turned that around, and not only for the child to the teacher to the child. Teachers get into this for a noble reason. They want to interact with those kids. They want to educate them. And what better way than, being with them every day. So I saw that. I have a great appreciation for those, for the people that did the online learning. And then you take that a step further where, not everybody had internet service, right?
That's true.
Some kids had to travel into a library or travel to a hotspot. So we have a lot of challenges in our schools. I take my hats off to them. They did a remarkable job. And I can tell you, not only myself, but all of Duke Energy appreciates that. And, we've done grants with several of the school corporations, East Washington being one of them. We've done what's called a summer immersive reading grant, which we try to address the summer slide, with teachers identifying some students that might benefit from a little bit more opportunity to keep the reading going, catch up. Maybe this was a K through 2 program. We all know till 3rd grade you're learning to read. Then after that you're reading to learn. And statistics back that up, that if you're behind, it can impact you for a long, long time. So we, many years ago, created this program and have taken it to schools, and East Washington being one that has participated in. I think Salem did as well. But what we did last year, because We weren't necessarily in school, right? We could not necessarily bring kids in, and that's a little bit tougher program to perhaps administer um, remotely. So we were very flexible with schools, and they adapted programs. But to their credit, that as a grantor, you have all these guidelines and these impact reports and such. But to their credit, they reached out to us and said, "Hey, could we do this?" And we said, "Absolutely." And they weren't the only school corporation that did that. So, we did everything we could to work with them, and again, appreciate the efforts. And, we talk about teachers, administrators, staff, all that, and then you have the people that are willing to put in some extra time to write a grant and to create a program or take advantage of a program to help the kids. And I couldn't thank them enough.
Well, I love that. And I love the working together, the collaboration of the Electric, Duke, and the school. I love that you're giving back to the community.
Yeah. Well, thank you. The Duke Energy Foundation does over $30 million a year enterprise-wide. In the state of Indiana,
Isn't that awesome?
we do over $2 million a year.
Wow.
And we take a lot of pride in that. We have our focus cycles. We do K through 12 education. That's one that starts at the end of the year and runs through the first of the year. And then we have a community impact cycle, a nature cycle, and a state strategic. And then we have grants that we can do throughout the year that fall less than $10,000. But these are the larger grants. The one that I shared with you earlier, the $50,000 grant that we did that will benefit many of the counties down here for the advanced manufacturing pipeline. And they partner with.
Explain that for our listeners, maybe. Yeah, this
sure,
is wonderful.
Sure.
This is
I'm going to reference some material, but the Southern Indiana Advanced Manufacturing Pipeline. They're going to partner with One Southern Indiana, the Metro Manufacturing Alliance, Ivy Tech Community College, and then individual manufacturers. One of the things that we hear often, Becky, is from businesses is the talent, the need for skilled workers.
Yes.
Not everybody needs a college education, but you may need to skill up some on this, and this is what this program will help do. It's going to help increase opportunities for careers to folks. It's going to allow participation of this particular grant, which is a $50,000 grant supporting several counties here.
Awesome.
Will allow them to go out and get some on-the-job training, and hopefully, allow them to skill up, have a higher quality, and advance themselves in the workplace. So, in that particular group, it was. Let me see here if I can. We did $280,000 worth of those grants during that focus cycle in the state of Indiana.
Oh,
wonderful. We have a regional council, and what we try to do with focus cycles is, we would get these grants. We would get a workforce grant, in January, and then we get another one in September. What we tried to do is let's get them all in the same time frame, and then we can compare apples to apples, so to speak, and try to be equitable as we spread out this investment throughout the state of Indiana, looking at different territories, seeing the needs. So each one of those has, I think it's about a 3-month window. And great part of my job is I get to help cultivate some of those. I get to work with these groups as we work in to see if it's viable first, right? Work through those ideas. Always encourage organizations to reach out to us first. Out on our website, again, www.duke-energy.com, there's a spot, there's a place on that webpage to look about the foundation, the Duke Energy Foundation. Our guidelines are in there. The online apps are on there. So a lot of information's on there, and then reach out to your local CRM and see community relations manager. I'm sorry, we're ate up with
I know
with that
I know
acronyms in the utility industry, but so it's great, and it's a wide berth of what we do. Here we are working with the business. I was talking about one with the school.
Yeah.
We might be working with a community foundation. We might be working with a shelter. I've done food pantry grants here in Washington County. So it's great. And kind of back to what you said, it keeps you young in some respects, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's always different.
Right.
And I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the nonprofits, what they've done last year. I mean, what a struggle with it. For Duke Energy, we did some rapid response grants. We freed up some funding to help respond to some of that in our communities, knowing that the need was so great at that particular time, specifically food pantries, all kinds of different things that presented itself that are something that we have all the time, but never so much as it was last year.
Right. Well, I love the giving back to your community and all that you do in the surrounding communities and back to the state, as a whole. That's fantastic. And it's good for people to know and let people know that you're not just, we pay the bill each month, we turn the lights on, and it comes into so much more. I think it's good to inform everyone about that. And I do want to kind of go over just a little bit. I know this is kind of elementary, but just going back to making sure that your house is safe. I always love to, real quick on safety, Bruce. I know I want to get back to other stuff too. We got a lot of ground to cover, but on safety, just making sure that they have those plugs, those little plastic plugs that they can put in the outlets. Do you, encourage you, talk with young parents about that and just making sure, because I know with my grandkids, if there's, and when that plugs out, and they see that, that outlet, it's just like, whoa, they want to go for it,
Sure.
And I'm sure those are things that.
That's a great point, Becky. That's why it's important to share that with your young kids, your grandkids. Absolutely. It's not just putting the knob on the door where they can't open the door, or putting a gate up at the stairway. Those are both important as well. Right. But electrical safety, having your kids understand not to put something in there, and getting those plugs to go in there. And another thing that we talk about is, do your kids know where the main breaker is in the event something's going on? Can they get that shut off? Do they know their evacuation route? Every meeting we have at Duke Energy, we start with what's called a level 1 safety assessment. We talk about this every meeting. Do you know your egress route in the event you need to evacuate the building? Do you know where you need to go within the building to seek shelter? Do you know your slip, strips, and fall hazards? If you're driving, we have a company policy, hands-free, absolutely, preferably pulled over where you can concentrate on your call. So all those things, it's not just at a young age, it's adults. And it's interesting you say that, as an adult, you're responsible for, looking to that safety and teaching kids about the safety, all the stuff. Don't ride your bike in the street, but right. With electrical safety. And then another thing that we do is sometimes we go out and we talk to kids about energy efficiency, what saps energy, closing,
turning off lights,
absolutely.
I say that if I had a nickel for every time I say that,
Yeah. Well, and closing your drapes in the summertime, the heat when you run your dryer. People don't think about that. I know you need to do it, but if you can do it, it's much better to do it later in the evening. If it's the summertime, if your dryer's in your house, as it is in my house, in a utility room, that dryer's running and it's heating things up. So your air conditioner's going to try to compensate for that. So thinking about all those things and going back to smart meters, you can see your usage now in real time. So you can think about all that. But my point about energy efficiency is that I found that, if we can get to kids at a younger age, we can make a difference if we can change that behavior. And what I found with kids is when it comes to energy efficiency, they're more likely to help their parents learn about keeping things shut off. Grill outside if you can. There's all kinds of different things, and we have a We have an online store where you can go in and buy LEDs. We have home energy
Yes.
Reports that you can kind of compare yourself to another resident similar in size close by. We also do a home energy assessment, where we'll
I
actually
love that. I
come
didn't know
out.
you were still doing that. I love
Yeah,
this. This is
yeah.
Please explain that if you still. I mean,
Sure.
I'm so happy.
We'll come out and we'll look at your home. We'll give you advice. This is free.
Yeah,
Let me
no,
say
it's
this is
not a
free.
huge blessing.
You got to go out online and sign up. There's a few qualifying factors, but all the frequently asked questions are out there. And you can sign up, and then we'll have someone come out and do a home energy assessment. And what you get with that, as well as a home energy kit, you're going to get some LED bulbs. You're going to get some of those seals that go in outlets and switches, an aerator for your shower head. So, it's the little things that add up, right? Obviously, if you can turn your air conditioner back, or turn your heat back, you can upgrade, your appliances, which also, folks don't realize, and we offer rebates for higher efficiency electrical equipment, HVAC equipment, pool pumps. And that's on the residential side. We also offer a ton of rebates on the business side. We have agricultural, lighting, heating, cooling, and even some commercial applications, I believe, of refrigerators and washers and dryers might be in common areas. So, get out there, take a look at that stuff. All again on www.duke-energy.com.
I did one of the home assessments when we moved into our newer house, and we absolutely love the LED lights, so I always order those.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. I love them.
Well, thank you. If you're familiar with LEDs, the lighting's so much more
Absolutely.
brilliant, I think. And plus, it uses about the 10th of the energy that an incandescent bulb, which you can't even buy an incandescent bulb now, but man, oh man, that's a great way. And you will see it. Our businesses that swap over to LED see it. And we have a small business energy saver program where we'll actually, and this is free as well, we'll come out. We contract with Lime Energy. They'll come out. They'll do an assessment. It might be a motion detector in a room to shut your lights off. Certainly, lighting will be part of it. But there's a variety of things they'll look at. And then, depending on what that is, you might qualify for up to 80% of those capital costs being paid for by Duke Energy. So it's free. Go online, look at that under the business portion of the website and get signed up. And there's no cost to that. And there's no obligation to even do it, but you'll know. And they'll actually be able to work the numbers and show you exactly how much you would save. And it's a great benefit. And we encourage folks to take care of it. Again, some qualifying factors. Your business may not qualify, but if it does, it'd be. We've had some here in Salem, I know, that have taken advantage of that. So we highly encourage that, and again, kind of your comment, a lot of folks don't know all this. And, we want people to be more efficient with their energy use. We always say the most efficient power plant we'll ever build is the one we don't have to build. So we want you to be efficient. We invest a lot in our infrastructure. And we want it to last for a long time, and it will. But, we all have a responsibility for, managing, our energy consumption.
I love that. Love that. Absolutely. Well, I'm so happy those programs are still going strong because I love those programs. And I've done it before, and I got the little kit, and it was so much fun. And everything. I was like, oh, my gosh, So I encourage everyone to sign up to get that. So, Laura, do you have our stats real quick for our?
I have our COVID numbers for Wednesday.
We always do
August
the COVID
18th.
numbers.
For our state, we had 3,713 new cases, 15 new deaths. Our local listening area, we had 407 new cases, 0 new deaths. Lawrence County, 35 new cases. Jackson County, 40. Jennings County, 15 new cases. Orange County, 21. Washington County, 25 new cases. Scott County, 33. Clark County, 153 new cases. Wow. Floyd County, 64 new cases. Harrison County, 27. Crawford County, 15. For Washington County, we currently have 2,721 cases, 40 deaths, for a 7.2% positivity rate. Wow.
Wow.
We are definitely in the wrong direction.
Yeah. So we just want everybody to remind, if you don't feel well, stay home, wash your hands, and wear a mask. If you're inside, just do what you're supposed to do, social distancing. And I know we have football tonight, which is outdoors. And
Still need
or
to keep your distance
on your radio.
please.
Yeah.
We don't want a regular season.
Yeah.
We don't want any more deaths.
Definitely, for
Please
sure.
do
Yeah.
what we need to do.
We've lost some lovely and wonderful people in our community, and we just want everybody to stay safe, for sure.
Absolutely.
Bruce, thank you for coming in. This is like fun, and I love it. I have learned at an early age, in this business growing up here, to respect electricity and to realize that, we're very blessed that we have electricity, and we're very blessed that we're able to, and we take it for granted. It's one of those things that, like, when every day you turn that light on, every day you do that, and you don't realize how important it is until you don't have that. And then
Well, that's a good point. And respect electricity. That's whether you're an adult or you're a child, and understanding what you should and shouldn't do, right?
Right.
But appreciate that. We have a lot of folks that are committed to providing good electrical service. We're I think a little over 29,000 employees in those seven
Wow.
jurisdictions, and kind of going back and wrapping this up. I started in line work, and that's your world, right? You're focused on just line work. And one of the great things, one of the benefits, one of the things I've appreciated the most about being in the role I have now is I've realized that it takes 29,000 people to do all this. It's not just a lineman. It's not just an engineer. It's not just a safety guy. It's not just a mechanic. It's also our folks that work in regulated affairs. It's our folks that do environmental work, sustainability work, renewable work, emerging technologies work, IT, all that. It takes all of us to make it work, and I have a great appreciation. And again, one of the big benefits of my job is I have a dotted line to them all.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for what I've learned. I'm excited about what the future holds, and I appreciate so much you have me in and let me share a little bit about Duke Energy and hearing some of y'all's thoughts about that. So thank
Very
you.
interesting. Well, please come back. Yeah, we'll have more electricity to talk. It's electric. It's electric. You know that song? It's electric. Yeah. That's going to go through my head all day. Okay. But I think you guys do a wonderful job. And I think when you see, when you're driving by or somebody, you see somebody up in the bucket and they're fixing that, I always pray for them. Or, or when it's 2 or 3 in the morning and they're out, and you see their lights coming in, and they're fixing it, you just pray for them that, that everything stays safe, and their degree of difficulty is a big 10. I mean, the things that they're faced with, the things that they have to diagnose and stuff, and it's not, and the weather's, it's outdoors, we don't have the cush weather that, so hats off to those men and women that are doing that every day.
Well, thank you for those kind words. I'll be sure to share it
Please do.
with them, and hopefully some of them were listening in today.
Yeah, I hope so. I do.
We appreciate that a lot.
I do. All right, Laura, thank you for coming in this morning
Thanks
too.
for having me.
Let's get ready for Friday night football, and exciting.
Be there.
I know.
Best of luck to your son.
Yeah, he's a freshman, chomping at the bit there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Big
All right.
freshman.
Yeah. All right, let's take our sponsor.
Absolutely. We have Walmart, Meadowview, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Kentucky Cat and Core, and Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gann.
All right, everyone have a great weekend.